Good evening. Leading our news bulletin for tonight, an application to the Niue High Court seeking an acquittal of a case brought by the Niue Police against Mr. Ian Hipper for arson has now been decided on by the courts. The applicant applied to the courts under Section 281, Section 3 of the Niue Act 1966 on the grounds that there is an absence of evidence sufficient to prove the charges to the necessary standard. In his decision, Judge Cox had made a ruling to dismiss the application and advised the defendant's counsel the submission that there is no case to answer to can be argued at the conclusion of the prosecution case. The case will be submitted before the Niue High Courts on the 16th of July. A police investigation into a rape complaint is still ongoing as Niue Police awaits forensic results. Chief of Police Mark Chenry said they can confirm that a rape complaint was laid with the Niue Police in February and the investigations have continued. Forensic exhibits were sent to New Zealand and the department will determine the next step once the results are received. Months of hard work to replace 6 water reservoirs on the island has now reached a conclusion with the completion of 2 water tanks at Tapeo Hill. The project, implemented by the Water Supply Division with funds from NZ8, is part of water demand plans to replace tanks that were aging and considered top priority.
This is part of our water demand management program, fixing leaks, whether it be in the reservoirs or pipelines or in the households. It's a normal thing for us to do, but it's only because we've had funding from NZ8 over the last couple of years that we have actually gone ahead and replaced the tanks that we've listed as priority 1. The 6 that we've done at the moment, 6 sites we've done, they're all priority 1. We've got priority 2 to get on with over the next couple of years, and it all depends on funding. And that's the reason why water leakage, it's a bit hard for us to tell people to save water at the home when our own backyard is not performing too well. So with this now fixed, we're really truly happy that we can truly say now to people out there, save water. The big green one that everybody sees when they drive past here, that's leaking like a sieve, that's been in use for almost 40 years. And before we knocked it down a couple of weeks back, we took a measurement of how much water we're losing out of the tank, and we've found that we're losing about 5,000 litres an hour, which is just a tremendous amount of water to be losing and wasting power for pumping water to the tank. So you equate that to dollar terms, that's about $30,000 to $35,000 a year we're losing just through leakage of the tank.
The reservoir replacement program had water supply staff working with contractors from Tasman Tanks to replace the main water tanks in Tamgotonga, Vaia, Alofi North, Waipapahi and 2 at Tapeo Hill. One of the major issues with these reservoirs was the amount of water wasted due to leakages.
When we put up the old tank, Public Works, we didn't have the expertise in building tanks. We were plumbers and water supply tradesmen. And as such, we built the tanks with instructions from a booklet. These guys that were contracted from Australia, Tasman Tanks, they came here. That's all they do. They actually fabricate the tanks. They design according to what we give them, and then they actually install the tank for us, which is really fantastic because they know what they're doing. They build tanks for every day of the week, and they build in Australia. They build something like up to 20 tanks a week throughout Australia and New Zealand as well. So their expertise in tanks, and it's only taken them a few weeks to build 6 tanks for us. And we're thankful to NZ8 for the funds. It's costing us about $350,000 to do 6 tanks. This is the last site that we've been working on, and this is number 6 tank at Tapeo. We've gone around and done Tamgotonga, Vaia, Alofi North and Waipapahi as well. And Alofi South has got 2 tanks here at Tapeo now.
It is hoped that with the replacements, power costs to pump water will be minimised and water will be conserved. Dengue fever continues to spread in Niue with an additional case bringing the total of confirmed dengue fever cases to 52 this week. However, the outbreak is not just confined to Niue, with outbreaks confirmed in the Cook Islands and New Caledonia this month. Health officials say the spread of dengue appears to be easing on the island, with about 1 or 2 confirmed cases over the past few weeks, but it is not something to be complacent about. There are apparently 4 strains of dengue and no vaccines available to avoid infection with dengue fever. Health is yet to determine what strain is present on the island, but the main focus is prevention by reducing exposure to mosquitoes, reducing breeding sites, use of repellents, coils and mosquito mats. Health says that the varying weather conditions have complicated the situation that is spread by mosquitoes, and there is no indication when the island can expect dengue cases to subside or when the island will be in the clear. The women's cricket competition is causing more controversy than a paid international cricket team as teams feud over events during games and decisions after games. Last Saturday, Makefu walked off the field in La Capa when the opposing team Hakupu decided to attend to the field of play due to rain erosion of the playing area. Makefu, who batted first, completed their inning before lunch and continued with Hakupu. According to Makefu, one male supporter from the Hakupu team decided to wheel in a barrel of Makassar and filled the batting area of play for the batters without consulting the fielding team, and Makefu decided it was foul play and called the game off. Makefu's captain, Mrs. Fotovaka, said what Hakupu did was not right and they have every right to walk off the field in protest, and they will write a complaints letter to affirm their disappointment. However, Hakupu's captain, Mrs. Rumetek Alapaki, said what Makefu did was not right and they should have discussed the issue on the field, but instead decided to storm off the field. In any case, the gentleman who attended to the field was also part of the cricket field maintenance group, and the whole reason for the patchwork because of safety concerns for the players, some of whom have slipped many times during the game. She said Makefu team should hand the win to Hakupu because they just walked off the field without consultation or discussion. The decision on the end result of the game will apparently be referred back to the committee for a final verdict. This has come after another controversy when the Niue Kilikiki Federation ruled on a draw for 4 teams whose games were cancelled because of rain, whilst the women's executive ruled for a rematch of the 4 games. As for teams that finished their games, Alofi defeated Mutalau, Tambotonga defeated Tuapa, and La Capa defeated Vaia. Hikutoi was also defeated by Liku. Avasale was on bye. The cricket matches are continuing with the 4th round this coming Saturday. And that concludes our news bulletin for tonight. We do hope that you can join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.